Hey, Billy. How's it going, Billy? I heard recently that you kissed a girl. Breeder, then you shoved him to the ground. Like, you better not be perpetuating heteronormative standards, bitch. You're a freak. You're wrong for being straight. Breeder, that's not happening. You're not throwing bricks, okay? No straight person is getting tied to the back of pickup trucks and dragged through the community. What do you mean? The worst you're probably gonna hear is the word Nazi, which isn't even tied to them being straight. It's tied to their participation in said event.
That's alright, I'm used to being on the bottom.
When he said bottom, he meant sexually, not like now, which is rock bottom, which is two different types of bottom, which Milo has been at the same time.
In America.
They absolutely believe in what they're doing, and so do I.
What felt a little bit more like a party and like a parade 2 blocks ago now feels like a lot more tension, and even the tone of the people marching in this parade has shifted.
Are there any President Trump supporters here today?
See, there it is. President Trump supporters, right? President, make normalcy normal again. What is that in statement of? That being straight is the norm. Being queer is not normal. So we're the normal ones. They're the freaks, right? It's not as simple as, we're proud to be straight. I wouldn't care. You think I care what you're proud of? You could be proud of the daffodils in your yard. It's not my business. But it's in counterance to queer people, not in support of one's own identity.
I have no problem with people existing as straight people, and that this rally exists shows that they do not understand where we are really coming from.
The LGBT is putting it in schools, and the counselors are telling them.
See, listen to this, the LGBT, and they're complaining about queer people. This isn't like, let me talk about straight issues, like, I don't know, cervical cancer, the best way to do missionary. I don't know what a straight issue is. How to properly wear Crocs. I have no clue. It's, again, counterance. It's not about being proud to be straight. It's about otherizing queer people.
It's okay to be gay. It's not okay to be gay.
There it is. See, there it is.
You've got people screaming and brawling and trying to tear down public infrastructure. And
This guy, 2 years later, would pretend to be straight and then open a conversion therapy center in Florida, which, again, conversion therapy is considered torture by many groups internationally, and many of the methods used are torturous, either emotional or physical. 2 years after this documentary.
attack the police. My work here is done.
I have just arrived in Boston. It's Saturday of Labor Day weekend, and I'm currently on my way to the Straight Pride Parade. The founders of Straight Pride have said they want to celebrate the contributions of straight America and provide a space in which straight people are able to, quote, be themselves and not fear persecution. This has caused a lot
I would love to see straight persecution in the United States. I would love to see it.
of controversy. People like the
Is it like a lack of fashion sense? Is it having your rainbow stolen? God's creation? What is it?
mayor of Boston coming out, voicing their opposition. I hope it stays peaceful. The city of Boston have said they're going to have a massive police force here.
This would be in Boston, though. Out of all the cities in the world, if I had to guess, Boston probably was high up there.
This was something that started a couple months ago online. I think a lot of people thought it was a joke. They thought it wasn't going to happen. They got their permits in time. And yes, in fact, the Straight Pride Parade is actually happening.
In the parade and be embedded.
And like all pride parades, they even have a grand marshal. You guessed it, Milo Yiannopoulos. Yes.
It's kind of weird that they choose a gay man to be the grand marshal of the Straight Pride Parade.
He's a gay man, a very controversial gay man. But he was invited to be the grand marshal today.
So I've been practicing my straight voice. Did I get it right?
He's wearing a very sparkly Make America Straight Again hat.
I should stay down. That's all right. I'm used to being on the bottom. I'll have more to say later once we've gone for a little walk in the sun.
I'm seeing a lot of
When he said bottom, he meant sexually, not like now, which is rock bottom, which is two different types of bottom, which Milo has been at the same time.
American flags. There is Don't Tread on Me flags. There's the classic straight pride flag, which you all know and love.
The classic straight pride. See, straight lives matter. Please tell me about how straights are being rounded up or shot, or being shot at a higher rate by police, or have higher rates of being pulled over by police. Please, I'd love to see it.
Love is being
The thing is, every year, with a protest or a new issue or whatever we're talking about in the public sphere of debate, there's this thing that pops up. Whatever, it could be racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, classes, could be any issue along the line. And somebody's talking about the issues they face. And then in counterance, instead of addressing that issue, somebody will stand up like this and be like, well, what about the straights? Well, what about the whites and the persecution they feel? What about straight lives matter? What about all lives matter? What about we have a straight pride parade? For a movement, which is the modern conservative movement in America, which hates victimhood so much, hates victim narratives and people wanting to be victims in the oppression Olympics, it feels like every time I blink or turn my head, there is another conservative movement, commentator, march, event, hashtag, which is claiming victimhood status and wants everybody to see how much of a victim they are. Either of it's, my YouTube views on YouTube are getting suppressed, or how Don Jr. was talking to the Instagram gods, and how, oh my God, he is getting less views than usual because his camera footage of him turning around his camera and fumbling with it only got 250,000 views. Or, oh my gosh, straight people are getting persecuted in schools, or any number of these things. It isn't that they hate victimhood status, just like it was with the hardcore evangelicals in the 80s with rock and roll, or any of these other moments, Dungeons and Dragons. It's that they want to be the victims, and they hate when the spotlight isn't on them because they're attention whores.
Symbol of a man and a woman together with pink and blue. Straight lives matter. Oh my gosh. Funny. The shark from the Katy Perry video is here. Straight lives matter. What does that mean to you?
Nothing. All lives matter. You know, gay lives matter, straight lives matter.
Left shark.
Everyone's lives matter except for socialists.
Where did you...
What? Well, you can't. Everybody's lives matter except for those who have a political... My God, for a movement that hates so much about how they're censored for the political beliefs, or hates how much the left is like censoring them, I wonder why a movement would maybe not want to have you on Twitter if you're actively saying, like, just fucking kill the socialists, man. Just kill them. This isn't left shark, this is far right shark. True.
The straight pride parade.
Facebook.
And when you first heard about it, what was your initial thought?
That's hilarious. I'm doing it.
What was funny about it?
Because it's never been done before, and everyone's going to be pissed off, even though it's obviously a joke.
Is it obviously a joke?
Yes.
It's obviously a joke, but you just... Okay, buddy, it's obviously a joke. Let's see how funny this joke is today, guys.
Seriously, if you're that angry, do something about it.
This does feel like it's trying to not only just troll the left, but a little bit poking fun at gay pride. The route itself is the exact route that the gay pride parade that happened in Boston at the end of June took. I do feel like there was a missed opportunity to have the parade route be literally straight. You can't deny that this is the 50th anniversary of Pride. Pride for LGBTQ people started at Stonewall, not as a parade, but as an expression of being in a space that a year prior they had been beaten by members of...
See, there's all this Trump stuff. Like, it says like it's a joke, but it's just like an openly political... It's not like a, Lamau, let's all... Like I would think like a joke or like a mocking event. You would just see everybody in clown. There's a few people in clown makeup or like all these little outfits, but then there's political slogans everywhere. She's gonna have interviews with people talking about how being gay is wrong. That same guy who said it was a joke was also pushing out inherently political messages. And just because it is or you say it's in a joking manner, doesn't mean like you can't use comedy to try to inject your beliefs, right? For example, like if I made a joke, like for example, here's a great example: shoe on head. Let me just ask you guys in chat: does shoe on head make political content that has opinions? Does shoe on head make political content that has opinions? Yes, she does. The thing is, though, she wraps everything up in humor. And so it would be stupid for her to come out and say something along the lines of, like, anytime someone criticized her politics in her videos or her political opinions, if she just said, Lamau, it was a joke, don't worry. Just because you wrap it up in a joke doesn't mean there isn't a political message to it. John Oliver is constantly joking on his show. That doesn't mean he isn't delivering a political message with it. There's one thing to say about, like, not taking a political, not taking a joke too seriously, but it's another thing to, like, have a very politically charged rally where people are giving their opinions on queer issues and doing it in counterance to a separate queer movement and saying, well, it's a joke, it's funny because it pissed people off. No, you're participating in politics, buddy. Like, come on.
The police force for being gay.
And he identified as a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He identifies as a shark.
Tyrannosaur of the alt-right.
What is the Straight Pride Parade, and what do you want to accomplish
A
today?
celebration of our sexual orientation, just like other people celebrate theirs. Straight Pride Parade, we think it's great to be straight. We don't hate any other group. We just think it's great to be straight. So all are welcome to come celebrate us. We got our straight allies and our gay allies, and many are coming here to march with us in solidarity.
There seems to be some unhappy
They
Americans.
wouldn't be a straight ally. They would just be straight. He doesn't even know what he's parodying.
Though, in
Well,
the
you're going to
background
get that
here.
in all the time. Now, here we go. These people holding signs that say Nazis. We actually have a Jewish delegation, and we're allowing them to carry the flag from Israel, the Israeli national flag, because we love our Jewish brothers and sisters. So,
Okay, I'm sorry, but you can't just say, look, we have a Jew here, or we have a few Jews here, so we're not, like, racist or not. Like, I don't think these people are all, like, neo-Nazis, but that's, like, a terrible defense. A lot of people didn't know this. There were Jewish supporters of Adolf Hitler. They found out a little bit later that that was a terrible decision for them to make, but there were Jewish supporters of Adolf Hitler. So just saying there's Jewish people in the crowd is not enough to, like, divert from the fact that people think you're racist.
so please don't listen to their narrative. It's a false narrative.
So for a while, you were not actually going to be allowed to have this march. It was an issue with permits, and that was a big turning
And
point.
that's why God made lawyers.
But now you are having the parade. You've gotten what you wanted. So what do you want to show, I guess, at this outing?
We want tolerance, just like everybody else, and we have a right to tolerance. And we got a wonderful crowd. As you can hear, they're all riled up today. We got some of the most amazing speakers.
Thanks for the
and we're gonna
sub.
have a terrific day. And next year in America, there's going to be 100 straight pride parades.
Shocker, there was not. I think they only had the one, if I remember correctly, or they tried to have a second and it failed miserably.
What brought you here today?
I love Jesus with all my heart.
Yeah.
And being straight is great. And I believe that
This seems like a joking woman. I bet she has. She's gonna have nothing serious to say whatsoever.
we have not stood up for that and that we have suppressed it to the point where when your children come home automatically thinking it's okay to be gay, then we have not done our parts as parents. It's not okay to be gay. If it was okay to be gay.
I love how you cut immediately from an interview with the organizer of the event, just saying, like, we don't hate anyone else. We don't hate people. It's all good, man. We don't hate anyone. And immediately you just go to them and they're like, what do you mean? I do hate. I hate the queers. The queers need to get in line. These F slurs, these queers, children think it's okay to be gay. No, they need to go back to beating up the queers in class. What happened to all the fun and shenanigans of school? Look, the thing is, kids are growing up to think it's okay to be gay. 43% of American youth support gay marriage. That's only going to go up. Sucks for you. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, being accepting of gay people not only helps the gay kids, it helps the straight kids as well. There's been studies done showing that when there's LGBTQ plus inclusion programs in schools, not only does it increase the mental health outcomes of queer kids, it also increases the mental health outcomes of straight kids as well. To perpetuate homophobia and that toxicity is not only harming queer children, you're also harming straight kids. The kids that you are so concerned about, since you don't really care much about the queer kids.
How would we be here?
From like a procreation
You better believe
perspective.
it. You better believe it. Yes. Yeah.
So they're chanting Milo.
I
You
hear
know
that.
Milo
I
is
know.
the Grand Marshal of the
Yes,
parade. You know
yes,
he's a gay
yes,
man.
I know he's
married
a
to
gay-
a man.
Yes.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I'm glad he's out here with us today, and he supports straight marriages. But if I get a chance to minister to anyone, I'm going to tell them that's not God's design.
Where are you from?
I said it once, say it a million times. Being a queer Republican is just self-destructive behavior. You're just surrounding yourself with people who hate you.
Davison, Michigan.
Davison, Michigan?
Same.
Same. So that's kind of not close to Boston.
No, 20-hour drive.
20 hours?
Plus some, yeah.
You drove 20 hours to tell people that you like boobs, man. You could have done that like a lot easier with Twitter or like Facebook. Just make a post like, hey, I just want everybody to know that I'm not gay.
Oh my gosh. So what brought you...
Imagine being so insecure about your sexuality that you need to drive 20 hours to a parade to wave around a flag to prove how straight you are.
out here today?
Straight pride.
Okay.
His shirt says it all right there.
Where's Dad, role model? Tell me about your outfit today.
It says Dad on it, and there's all sorts of responsibilities of a dad.
And do you think that there's people out there who are trying to not have dads with those characteristics, or?
Well, that would be called toxic masculinity, wouldn't it?
Okay. Have you been attacked?
I don't think. Okay, let's go look at the things. Role model. I don't think that's a toxic masculinity thing. Sports instructor, ATM. Actually, I would say that there is something kind of toxic about the idea that the man has to be the person who pays for everything, right? I think that's kind of toxic, but I think that's something that ultimately kind of hurts men. It also hurts women because, you know, it targets the idea that they can employ themselves. But I don't think that's a very nice thing to have. Like, I'm a dad, which means I'm an ATM. It's kind of dehumanizing to yourself. Role model, I don't think that's terribly toxic. I don't think anybody would call most of these things, except maybe the ATM, toxic masculinity. There's positive and toxic masculinity. I don't think anybody is trying to say that being a role model is terrible.
That would be called toxic masculinity, wouldn't it?
Okay. Have you been attacked for your beliefs?
No, I work with a bunch of people just like me.
You're
So-
amongst your kin. You're like-minded
Correct.
people in a, I don't want to use the word safe space, but like in a space in which you can look to the left and the right and you know that the people around you are of similar
Don't want to use
beliefs,
the word
and that
safe
makes
space.
you feel more comfortable
Don't
to
want to offend you, buddy.
be yourself.
Correct.
If you believe there are more than two genders, you should go back to school.
Can you tell me a little bit about this flag that you're...
Again, it's not this. Oh my god. The thing is, oh god, it's free Kekistan in the background. The thing that gets me about this, about the straight pride parade, is I feel like they should have, like, you know, I don't know, like hid the intentions of it a little bit more. Maybe be more about clear, like, hey guys, it's about promoting straight values and being openly straight, not about going after gay people. But it seems like every single interaction you see isn't like, let's talk about what it's like to be straight. It's fuck the queers.
You're holding?
Yes, it's the flag of straight pride. The pink is for girl and it has the female symbol, and then the blue is for boy and it has the male symbol.
Have you individually or people that you know ever faced violence because of your sexuality?
Not over my sexuality yet. Bill that if
Yet. What do you think's gonna happen? Hey, Billy. How's it going, Billy? I heard recently that you kissed a girl. Breed her, and then shove him to the ground. Like, you better not be perpetuating heteronormative standards, bitch. What do they think's going on at school? What do they think's going on? Man, I don't know what school was like when they were kids, but that's not the stuff I interacted with.
it continues, that it will. I feel that we are slowly becoming the minority. Like, there might be more of us, but our belief is becoming the minority.
Your belief in what? Being straight? Like, what does that even... See, you're leading with the fact that this isn't about being straight. This is about just being homophobic.
I think we're starting to march. Oh, I know this song.
Is this the straight pride anthem? It's just nationalism?
Yeah, we're starting off with a pretty patriotic tone. Now, it wouldn't be a straight pride parade, I think, without Santa. So that is very exciting.
Why
He
is
was
there
able to
Santa
come down from the
Claus?
North Pole, despite the objections of the elves. God bless.
Support, donate. What does that say? Does that say donate to the Trevor Project? Stop hate, donate the Trevor Project. Oh yeah, that's cool. Trevor Project's great, and we're actually going to be working with them again this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be hosting a fundraiser for the Trevor Project to help LGBTQ plus youth with mental health care.
God bless. Yep, it's happening. The Straight Pride Parade has officially started. We're now moving through the streets. We started with God Bless America and Proud to be an American, because a lot of people are saying this about freedom of speech. And seems like a real fun time.
So,
how you doing?
Bisexual leather woman, queer leather woman, walking with everybody.
Do you consider yourself an ally for straight people?
Straight people hurled the same insults from the sidelines that are being hurled today by gay people towards straight people. Identical. I'm here to
identical?
celebrate their life.
Identical? What do you mean? What do you mean it's identical? You're a freak. You're wrong for being straight. Breeder. That's not happening. You're not throwing bricks, okay? No straight person is getting tied to the back of pickup trucks and dragged through the community. What do you mean? The worst you're probably going to hear is the word Nazi, which isn't even tied to them being straight. It's tied to their participation in said event.
Good for them.
I definitely expected people on both sides to be sort of upset with each other. I don't think I expected the amount of people to show
Can somebody show me some examples of anti-straight hate crimes?
up.
We're starting to get into a bit of a denser part of the parade route.
What felt a little bit more like a party and like a parade 2 blocks ago now feels like a lot more tension and a lot more anger, and even the tone of the people marching in this parade has shifted.
Oh my gosh, the crowd just basically tripled of people who are here to protest. How you guys doing? Holding up?
We are feeling fine. I feel sorry for these people, honestly. I do not hate them. Hate is what they want, and I am sorry for them that they feel so misguided that they think this is necessary.
Why do you think this is existing right now in 2019?
I think it is because they are afraid. I think they know that because queer people have power, they think that means less power for them. It does not. We do not want to be stronger or higher up on the ladder than straight people. We just want to be treated equally, and to them being treated equally, they think that that means that we want more. We do not want more. And I have no problem with people existing as straight people, and that this rally exists shows that they do not understand where we are really coming from.
Okay, think of anybody at all saying the same thing if you see anti-gay counter-protesters at a LGBT event. If you see counter-protesters at an LGBT event, it's not, hey, I just want you to know that I have no problem with them being straight. Being straight is perfectly, or I have no problem with them being gay. It's, if you listen to them, they will specifically say, being gay is wrong. That is wrong. We are here to stop that. You listen to her, it's like, there's nothing wrong with being straight. We just know you're doing this because you're scared of us. You shouldn't be scared of us. We're fine. We're perfectly fine. She, like, this is a really, like, what's the word? This is a very good interview. This is about, like, the perfect answer somebody could give while counter-protesting one of these events.
So what do you think? I feel like in the beginning it felt like more of a party, and now it feels like...
That's because that's Antifa. They're miserable.
Yeah? Do you feel in danger in any way, shape, or form?
Hey, we're willing to die for our beliefs.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Wow, he will be the straight martyr. I will die. I will die so we can, what, grill? What's the right he's fighting for? What is the end goal of his struggle? He will die for die for what? What a silly thing to die for. I died so Left Shark could say straight lives matter during a parade.
Got to protect our country and our Constitution.
At first, I actually thought that people in the parade were outnumbering the protesters. Not in this space. There are about 3 to 1 in terms of protesters to actual people in the parade. So basically, everyone who was protesting is now in this very condensed space. Cops now and protesters seem to be facing off. The groups of protesters, they started to have a bit of a face-off and clash with the police. A couple people were arrested, a lot of chanting of anti-fascists. There is a massive crowd of protesters behind me. There are helicopters circling overhead. There are probably 200 police officers here and full riot gear. There is also classical music being played. It is a very odd scene. So now we're just waiting for speeches to begin from members of the Straight Pride Parade.
If you are a supporter of ours and you're still stuck in that crowd.
Think about the idea of you driving 20 hours out for this event and cause so much of a ruckus that they need helicopters and cops on roofs with binoculars. Also, you can say the statement, "Yo, I'm a man and I like pussy." Congratulations, buddy. You are unbelievably straight.
Make some noise.
I think a little bit due to security.
Wait. Can I hear that again?
Of the Straight Pride Parade.
If you are a supporter of ours and you're still stuck in that crowd, make some noise.
I think
wow. That's a lot of support.
A little bit due to
just the dead silence.
Security, there's not a lot of people here on the Straight Pride side. There is a lot of people who are protesting the Straight Pride Parade. So if it's a numbers game, that side seems to be winning at the moment.
Yo, wait. Who started swinging first? Let me figure this out. And they're yelling at each other. That guy pushes, and then he swings. Okay, so it was the Trump guy. Got it. That guy was violently standing there. Wait, they would just back it. Why? Just push them back. Oh my God.
Are there any President Trump supporters here today?
Ah, yes. We're not here to hate. We're just supporting the candidate of the guy who chose a vice president that advocated for the torture of gay people through the conversion therapy. So we're just here, we're just here for straight pride, nothing else. Okay, buddy. And that's the same organizer right there. Oh my God, who said it was all for this.
Whether you are straight and part of the request majority or here as an ally supporting us, we welcome you to the greatest parade in the history of the world.
And what group are you with?
With the Rhode Island John Brown Gun Club, which is a community defense organization. We do armed and unarmed security for different events for leftist groups.
What are your thoughts on the Straight Pride Parade?
Every other day in the calendar is Straight Pride Day.
Bro!
Why did you come out here today?
Like, if you look at the vast majority of commercials, it's straight couples. Why? Because companies care about making money, and they're going to advertise for what the vast majority of the population is. Straight couples. They dominate representation in film. They dominate representation in television. They dominate representation in music. If you hear music, and even if you want to get to the grimy, sex depraved music, whatever the hell conservatives want to call it, it's describing straight intercourse, not gay. It was wet ass pussy, right? It wasn't wet ass bussy, okay? That's all I'm saying. Then there was, I don't understand why you would need a straight pride day or a straight pride march. Unless, of course, as we've concluded for the rest of this video, it is just simply because you're angry that gay people are getting treated a little better.
These people cannot come in and pull this crap unopposed. Boston is our city.
At the beginning, I think a lot of people were seeing this as a
Are women
joke.
inherently straight? No, it's not that women are inherently straight. That is true. But if you look at the vast majority of music media that is describing sex, it is describing mostly straight intercourse.
They were making fun of it and teasing, but obviously the other side of this is that it's very serious. So what is the approach? Is it to make fun of it, or is it to take what they're doing very, very seriously?
I think there's a lot of danger in not taking something like this seriously. I think there's a lot to be said for the idea that as much of this is absurd, look, there's not many people up there, but there are people up there. Absurdity appeals to people.
Again,
and the more
this is an event that's supposed to not be about hate. And they bring up that woman who specifically told interviewers, hey, it's not okay to be gay. I thought this wasn't about hate.
Up there. Absurdity appeals to people. And the more people it appeals to, the more dangerous it becomes. And the more of a platform it's given, the more dangerous it becomes.
They're saying this is just simply a freedom of speech thing.
Well, I mean, if you look into the individuals who have gathered and who have organized this parade, you'll see that they have a long history of putting together rallies that are, fueled by hatred.
Do you think anyone from either side is going to walk away feeling like they understand the other side?
Absolutely not.
I will never, and I will say this, yesterday Colorado tried to make me wear a long-sleeved flannel with shorts in the middle of the summer. And number one, wearing long sleeve with shorts is disgusting in basically all instances, and it's disgusting here as well. In this moment, as he did that little skip up there like this, even though it was hilariously flamboyant, that is the straightest thing I've ever seen him wear.
In case you don't know, I'm Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm the most lied about man in the world, the most censored man in the world. I'm also your personal pet faggot.
Oh, God. There it is. Well, thank you, Twitch. I appreciate that, Milo. Thank you so, God. Also, just want to say this quickly. Not only is he tokenizing himself openly to the crowd, but to suggest that Milo Yiannopoulos is the most censored man in the world, when there are gay people and gay activists around the world who are currently being executed for LGBTQ plus activism, women in places like Saudi Arabia who are getting executed for fighting for women's rights. There are gay people in concentration camps in Chechnya. All these different places that have persecuted gay people and are currently killing them. Gay people thrown off of roofs. Lynched. And he's going to say he's the most censored man in America. Why? Because he was banned on Twitter. He's the most censored man in the world. Ridiculous, man. The victim complex comes back again.
Proud of you for coming today and having the bravery to live as open heterosexuals in today's hostile society. Now, we might not be as trendy as gay pride, but we have something better. Women who embrace motherhood.
There are queer women who embrace motherhood.
Men who aren't afraid to let their wild side out now and again.
Gay men can let their wild side out. What do you mean?
We have truth, we have beauty, and we have virtue. And we have something better than all of those things. We have me.
Unlike other
Well, they quite literally don't have you because you're gay.
pride parades I've been to, this one really didn't feel that celebratory at the end. I did get to talk to some interesting people though. The one person I didn't get to talk to was maybe one of the most controversial figures here, Milo Yiannopoulos, the Grand Marshal. But luckily, he's agreed to talk to us now, so we're on our way to go meet him. We're now in the...
Can you believe that this man's pretending to be straight these days? I'm sorry. Just like, look, I don't mean to be like, just look at him, but honestly, just look at him.
hours of the Straight Pride Parade, so you're not super fresh off the Straight Pride Parade, but
I always feel fresh.
you're always refreshed.
Always feel fresh.
So how the hell did you get involved with the Straight Pride Parade?
Well, why wouldn't I be? I've been talking
His shirt isn't loud enough. True.
about how my fellow homosexuals have embarrassed and humiliated me for the better part of half a decade. It's no surprise that they...
Honey. Oh, honey, honey, don't worry. Don't worry. You did that yourself, darling.
They would want somebody from that side of the fence, you know, to say, do you know what, we're not all like that. Doesn't surprise me at all. I pretty much share all their values. I believe in what they're doing, and it was fun and happy and joyful and upbeat kind of event. It just seemed like a good joke, and I can't really resist a good joke, so.
Has it paid off? How's your joke?
Yeah, it did. I mean, if you look at the total, like, butt-clenching insanity, and you're just like, dude, we're just laughing at the excesses of you. This is exactly what this was intended to produce, and you haven't disappointed.
I'm not even getting paid. I'm just here because
You're not getting paid for this?
No, because I just sounded like a good troll, and I was like, all right, sure.
Do you think that this was more of a performance piece for the members of the Straight Pride group, or was this a true expression?
Once again, Milo showing his financial knowledge. No wonder the guy went bankrupt.
Of an identity that they feel is being oppressed currently in America.
They absolutely believe in what they're doing. Are they ignorant of the ironic and amusing overtones? Of course not. But they believe in what they're doing, and so do I.
Who is the most marginalized group in America?
Straight white men, for sure. And there's more straight white men than some other groups.
Most other groups.
Yeah. Why does that mean that they can't be routinely demeaned and ridiculed in culture? It's perfectly possible for a group that holds much of the, or allegedly holds, much of the
group that holds the most financial, economic, social, and cultural power. They are the most... Okay. Besides somebody on Twitter being mean to you, or a comedian saying, like, the word cracker, can somebody please show me in any time and place the statistics or data that shows me how the white man is the most ridiculed? Does it have to at all do with the criminal justice system? Well, no. White life is prioritized over black life. The death penalty is a great example. If you're a black man, you're 4 times more likely to be put on death row than if you're a white man. And if the victim of the crime is white, you're more likely to be put on death row than if the victim of the crime is black. What about, you know, the fact of all the data that's out there about how black people get pulled over at higher rates than white people during the daytime, but then when it goes to nighttime, cops don't pull them over at different rates. It's about the same rate. Why? Because you can't tell that they're white and they're black in the darkness. Maybe we can look at other data. We could talk about the history of redlining in this country. We can talk about the amount of economic inequality. We can talk about the lack of health and living standards and differences between the communities. We could talk about the different type of advertising to these communities. What about housing policy? Or any of these things we could talk about. Is there anything that somebody could bring up to me that isn't, this tweet made me feel bad, or this comedian said the mean word?
The economic or social power to be very rapidly defenestrated. And I think they're perfectly entitled to defend their position if they feel that's what's happening.
If you had advice for the other side, if they were to listen, and if you were one of them, the left,
Stop taking the bait.
Stop taking the bait.
Yeah. So long as I mean, I shouldn't really tell them this, but I don't think they ever will, which is why I feel happy giving them the advice, because I know they'll never take this advice.
Milo had to go straight in order to get some sort of crumbs of attention these days, because he went bankrupt from nobody paying attention to him anymore. Maybe it wasn't the smartest thing to do, Milo, to tell people to stop paying attention to you, because ultimately, most people, except for weird internet folk like me, did that.
But really, stop taking the bait. I think they reveal themselves better than my words ever could. You've got the people who are laughing and singing and dancing and having a good time, and then 200 yards that way, you've got people screaming and brawling and trying to tear down public infrastructure and attack the police, my work here is done.
Wow.
What was his stance on the January 6th insurrection again? Just want to know. Just checking in.
Wow. So that was straight pride. There were a lot of protesters. They definitely drew people out who were upset about an organization like the Straight Pride Parade existing. And I think the question comes to the left, what should the continued reaction be? Do you continue to take it as a joke? Do you take it seriously? And is there any kind of learning or communication that can be had where both sides start to see where the other side is coming from? I'm just not sure that a larger goal was accomplished other than continuing to solidify both sides and thinking that the other side is wrong. And that kind of sucks.
Well, I can say for sure that it doesn't really matter because straight pride parades basically stopped happening. And ultimately, thankfully, the answer to the question doesn't really matter that much because the straight pride parade did not age very well.